All right. I believe we are live. Everybody, hello, hello. It's Friday afternoon, and I am here, Marsha Grace, your modern meditation mentor, using StreamYard for the first time. So if things aren't working as smoothly as we would wish, um, have some patience with us. It'll only get better. So welcome. And as I always like to say, I've been with you for close to 5 years talking about how we can reduce stress in our life and talking about all the many, many ways. And today I have a fabulous guest for you who is going to just tell you so many wonderful things about that you need to know, and I can't wait to tell you about her. So I just want to mention that I have been starting my Course in Miracles gatherings on Mondays, the first and the third Mondays of the month. If you're interested in joining and learning how you can bring these incredible spiritual principles into your life so that you could be healthier, happier, and more successful, just shoot me an email or put it in the chat or what have you. All right. So without further ado, I want to bring on our guest. All right. I think she's coming. Are we here? Yes. All right. So I'm going to tell you about Dr. Barnsley Brown, who is a member of the prestigious National Speakers Association, the American Society of Training and Development, Women's Power Networking, and other professional organizations. She is a self-proclaimed steel magnolia. We'll find out more about that in a minute. In a long line of strong Southern women. So that's exciting. As a professional speaker, coach, author, and president of Spirited Solutions, Dr. Barnsley helps big-hearted women in business 10x or more their income and impact fast. So she has a fantabulous report for you, how to overcome and so forth, and it'll be in the chat below or somewhere. We'll send it to you. You'll have it to grab, and also a complimentary subscription to her Spirited Solutions for Your Success e-zine. And that will be at we'll have that information in the chat below, but it's at her website, which is spirited dash, very important, the dash, spirited-solutions.com. Without further ado, I want to bring on this lovely lady we see smiling at us and say welcome and hello, hello. Uh,
Hey, Marsha Grace, happy Friday. It's great to be
yes.
here. You're doing StreamYard. Yay.
Yay. Always love to try something new. You know, that adrenaline rush of is it going to work or not, you know? So, yes, so here we
Frozen.
are. All right. So please, let's get started because we have a lot. I know you have a lot of great stuff to give to us. Now, our topic today is 3 secrets to spiritual and financial fitness to relieve your stress, of course, because when we relieve our financial stress, we are relieved and release our power. That's great too. So that's our topic. So I just really want to start out with, because we want to know you a little bit. When we talk about financial wealth, right? It's about wealth, right? Wealth creation. What does the word wealth mean to you? What is that? What is the true meaning of that word? Because I'm sure you've got an interesting definition for us.
Yes, I'm really glad you start with that word because so often we just see it and people think money. But the actual origin of the word wealth comes from Old English weal, W-E-A-L, which means well-being. Isn't that beautiful? Because our well-being
Mm.
really is most important. And we all know we've seen these celebrities who have all the money and all the accoutrements they could possibly have of luxury, but they're unhappy. They have no well-being. They have no privacy, but they have no well-being. And so our well-being really needs to come first. And
Mhm.
when we have that, which I know you're all about releasing stress, and I am too with my Reiki trainings and my coaching, when we have that well-being, then we're able to be magnetic and draw to us wonderful opportunities, and they prosper us in many ways.
Yeah, we're talking about mindset, right? I mean, if I have a mindset that says I don't deserve, I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, smart enough, whatever, am I going to be able to be successful and therefore bring in the things that I want, money, and ability to do, do the things in life that give us joy? Right? Not going to happen. So it's all about,
Right.
so since you start off that way, of course, we want to know, how do you help people with this prosperity consciousness? How do you get them, what kind of, do you have a system, a program, or, how do you get people to begin to change, to make that shift so that they, and when you're dealing with women, and let me get that right. Is that true? You deal with women?
Yes, I work with women in business, and
Okay.
they're usually in their first few years of business, or they're starting a new type of business that they want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And in my Make It Happen mastermind, what we do is we very quickly fund X or more their income and their impact in the world. So they can go from, it's routine, pretty much routine in the program, that somebody could start out, say, making 200 a month in their business because they just started, right? And then they'll hit a month, like, for example, one person this past month, she hit 16,000, want to get the number right, $16,245 just in the month of February that she was bringing in. Now, it's not about the money, but we do track it because she knows now that she's helped a lot of people. She has helped a whole heck of a lot of people because she's brought in that much income. And also, when we make more, Marcia Grace, we can give more.
That's
We
right.
can give more. We don't have a problem. We can tip largely. We can share with the causes that we care about. And so really there's nothing, what can I say? There's nothing good about being poor, right? There isn't. And we can be poor in spirit, where, as you point out, we don't believe that we deserve it.
Right.
So this is really something that we've got to address. And as women, we've got to break those inner ceilings, the glass ceilings that we have that are inner glass ceilings that are holding us back from
Right.
earning what we deserve, from
Mm-hmm.
having the life we want, from
Right.
having the relationships we want. We've just got to break that stuff up. And so that's what we do. That's why I call myself a kick-ass coach, because I provide the GBK, Marcia Grace, the GBK, which is the
Mm-hmm.
gentle butt kick.
I love it. It's
And
great.
I gave you a gentle butt kick, and I love that you took it, because I mentioned StreamYard and you're like, ooh, that sounds so good. And then the next thing, I get this message from you saying, oh, I got my StreamYard. I just did a broadcast.
I
So
did.
you
I
took
tried
the
it right
gentle butt
away, and
kick and ran.
it was fun. It was fun, it's like that. The last feather that sends the whole bunch of dominoes down, because I've been hearing about StreamYard and people have been saying good things about it, but it was when you
Mhm.
finally asked me, or said, hey, do you use that? And I said, okay, now she said it, I'm going to do it. So thank
Yes.
you for that. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
And
All
look,
right,
and
well,
here
let's
we are.
all right, so uh, let me say, I know you've written a book, and or several books, but this one is
Yes.
Get Out of Debt and Get On with Your Life, as being the result of over 20 years, right, of studying and practicing your prosperity principles. So, can you tell us more about what started this topic, and how what brought you to finance in particular, or prosperity, and
That is
yeah,
such a great
yeah, let's hear it. Go ahead.
That's such a great, I can hear your New Yorker right now. That is such a great question, because I call it gradual school. And I was working 3 jobs, putting myself through graduate school. I was going to be the first woman PhD in my family. I don't
Mm,
know why, but I got this dream when I was 8 years old, and I just always wanted to be a PhD. And so it was hard. I was working 3 jobs, and I was just stressed out, and no one in my family had talked with me about money and how to manage it, how to live, how to grow it. I didn't have knowledge. And so I started learning, and I not only learned about the strategies for prosperity, i.e., earning and making money and investing, but I also worked on the mindset, and things began to open up. Like the opportunity to do Reiki mastership, for example, opened up. Just all this stuff started opening up when
Mhm.
I began to study all sorts of prosperity awakening books, like Your Money or Your Life. I give a great bibliography, by the way, in the books. So what I wanted to do, and I think one of the reasons this is so important for women, is that somehow society still assumes that there's going to be a man who supported us or who supports us.
Mm.
And I don't know about you, I've never had that. Even when I was married, I was earning, right? It's just not been my reality. And so everything that I've created by learning and by doing, and growing it. So I've got the books here. I'll show you real quickly. This is fun. This is there. It's a book package. Ah, there we go. Get out of debt. Get on with your life. Every woman's guide. Can I hold this right? Every woman's guide
Yep,
to
we
create
see it.
prosperity
Yep,
with
see
what
it
you have
perfect.
right now. And I
Mhm.
do wish that was me on the motorcycle. That's pretty cool. Somebody told me it was a BMW. This one right here is all about your mindset, all the
Mhm.
consciousness changing that needs to happen. Um, there are tons of things that we can change, but I'll give one little tip for everybody. Instead of calling your bills, call them contributions.
I
Don't
love
call
that.
them bills.
Yes, yes, that's what we need. That's the shift, right? You're shifting
Stop.
so
Yeah.
that instead of feeling like you're pressured or like this is
Yes.
work or that this is hard, you make it fun. Like when it comes to situations in our life, I don't call them problems. I call them opportunities for that very reason.
Exactly. And that's the growth mindset. You've got a growth mindset. You don't have a static mindset. The
Hmm.
static mindset is the mindset of, oh God, and that never gives us any power. We want to
Right,
release our power
right,
first.
right.
We accept responsibility, right, Marcia Grace? So
Yes.
if we're in debt, for instance, I have a client who's in debt. She's whittled it down quite a lot by working with me and increasing her income, and also being careful of how she spends her time, energy, money, and focus. By the way, those are our 4 resources: time, energy, money, and focus, which I also am known to call love. Think
That's
about it.
good. I like it.
We give
Yeah,
our focus to those
that's
we
right.
love.
Yeah, we
Um,
need more of it. We need more love. We need more love
yes,
all the time. We need it.
we do. Our world needs it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'm
so
so
she's
glad you call that a resource because people don't
exactly.
think of that as a resource. That's excellent. Oh my
It's a
goodness.
huge resource, Marcia Grace,
Yeah,
because truthfully,
yeah.
what you love,
Mhm,
when you align your spending of time, energy, money, and love, and this is one of my biggest points in the book, when you align your spending of time, energy, money, and love with
mhm,
what you value most,
mhm.
then your life will blossom. And so
Yes.
things need to be in congruity, right? They need to be congruous. So, for example, if you say, I value health, but you're smoking cigarettes, packs of cigarettes every day, you're out of alignment, but also you're wasting your health and you're wasting your money. So, some of your resources and your time, really, all those resources are just going right down the toilet. So, the first thing I would say to your
Oh, I love
folks
that.
listening,
I love that. Oh,
yeah,
wait. I gotta stop a minute. I have to stop a
okay,
minute
okay, let's stop.
because I just love that. The fact that you say
Mhm.
smoking, I think that is such a great example because it took me many years to quit. Everybody
Mhm.
smoked when I was a young woman, and
Yeah.
I quit once, and then I went back again, and then the day that I finally quit, it was like that was it. Um, but what you're saying here is when you're smoking, first of all, you're busy holding a cigarette and you're not doing anything else, you're smoking, and then
Yeah.
and on top of that you're ruining the health of your body, right? So you just destroyed your health and you're wasting time doing something stupid, and then and you're not loving yourself, right? So there's no love there. And what was
Yeah.
the last thing? And you're
Money.
spending money, you're
You're
spending
spending a lot of
money
money.
for something that is killing you. I mean, isn't that ridiculous? So I love that.
So it's really a litmus test for everything in your life to ask yourself, how is my spending of time, energy, money, and love / focus, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for everything in your life, every opportunity that comes your way, use those four as a litmus test. Is
Perfect.
this
Yes.
aligned with my highest values? And the first question is highest values. So for example, for me, spirituality is one of my highest values. I don't call it religion, I call it spirituality because it's the walked path, right? Not dogma.
That's what I was just going to ask you. So you knew it. You see, you picked up a psychic energy, you picked it up because I was just going to ask you. I know that you have this spiritual perspective, which is one of the things that drew me to you instantly. So, yeah, so talk about that a little bit because I know that you say that uh, we need to be spiritually and financially fit. So
Yes.
yeah, so they go together. The two things they go together. So talk a little bit more about that, about how spirituality enters into the picture for you.
I love that you're asking this question because really it is for me the foundation of everything. Because again, if our spirit isn't well, then our life isn't well. And so many people are in a state of spiritual depletion right now, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Spiritual depletion.
Hmm.
And so, for example, I would say to you, part of this is following the crumbs of joy in your life. What are the things that really uplift you and bring you joy? And I actually have my clients write what I call a bliss list. Bliss, BLISS, a bliss list. And I sure would love for some people actually to put some things in the comments about what gives you bliss. Y'all put it in there. So, for example, for me, playing with my rescued animals, we have 4, gives me
Hmm.
bliss daily. And
Oh,
taking
we just
funny
heard one of
pictures of
them.
them. Did you hear, Buddy?
Right
Buddy,
on cue there.
hey,
He
isn't
right
that
on
great?
cue.
That's the 100-pounder, man.
Oh.
Somebody's walking on his street. So he's like, But Buddy, just play. I take funny pictures of them. So for example, this new cat we have named Mochi got in the catnip and got it all over the floor and then was rolling in it. And I happened to get several photos and I got the cat with his tongue hanging out like this. And I put it up on Facebook and said, Mom, you're sending me to rehab? And everybody's been cracking up. So anyway, that's a blissless thing for me. It's like playing with my animals and taking funny pictures and putting them with funny captions on Facebook. Now, does that cost me money? No. So what I would say to you is that most of the things on everyone's bliss list, unless maybe it's snorkeling in the Bahamas, which I actually also love to do,
Me too.
snorkeling is incredible and seeing all the colors and the
Oh
fish
yeah.
and being in the water and it's so
Yeah.
clear and just yeah, and being able to breathe, it's amazing. It's like um being a fish with the fish. So whatever,
Right.
that does cost a little money to get there, but most things that are on our bliss list don't cost.
Yeah, I was thinking last
Things
night as I
meditating,
yeah,
things like calling a friend.
yeah, that's right. I was thinking just getting what is my favorite place to be is snuggled up in my bed at night with a good book, I mean, like, but that doesn't cost a thing, and it gives me such joy. It's easy,
I
easy.
love throws. We have all these throws downstairs, and I have my ottoman, and I
Mhm,
call it my ottoman time. My
mhm,
ottoman time is when I put my feet up and I sit
mhm.
there and I study something or read something. And
Yep.
I give myself ottoman time just about every single day. So the question for everybody is, well, you know, maybe you're slaving away for money, but how's your spirit? You know,
Mhm.
what does your spirit need? What kind of support do you need? Maybe there is a 12-step program you need. Those are great for spiritual support.
They
Maybe
are.
there is a coach that you need to have. Coaches are great for all sorts of support, business, spiritual, life coaching, even grief coaching. There are grief coaches out there. So ask
Meditation
yourself,
coaches. Me.
meditation coaches like
Yeah.
Martha Grace, and your miracle mastery class sounds wonderful. I hope everybody is jumping on that. It's on
Yeah.
Monday evenings, right? I think I'm going
That's
to try
right.
to pop in.
Oh, well, by all means, please join us. I would love for you to do that. Definitely
Yes.
do that. Now, listen, you have given us a couple of really fantastic tips, and I bet you have a couple of more.
Oh
Tips
gosh, I
for
have
how to be
so much we could
spiritually and
talk about.
financially fit. How else can you help our people do this? These
Well,
women
I
who need
just
your
want to
help.
reiterate really quickly for everyone. Number one, first step is align your spending of your time, energy, money, and values.
Okay,
It's
right. We
time,
got
energy,
that.
money, and focus, love,
Right. And
with
love,
your
right.
values. So figure out your highest values. What are they?
Okay.
Such as family, such as spirituality, such as having fun, such as lifelong learning. What are your highest values? And write down 3 to 5 of those,
I'm taking
maybe
notes.
max
Yep.
6. Yes. So that's the step I would tell everybody to
Okay.
take.
All
And
right.
then you go back and you ask for everything in your life, everything you're spending your time on, every person you're spending your time with, every activity you're doing. You
Mm-hmm.
ask, well, is that really in alignment with my
Mm-hmm.
highest values? And the example was smoking, but it could be that you say spirituality is important to you, but you never sit down and go meditate, or you never go to your spiritual community to
Mm-hmm.
hang out with people.
All right.
So just ask, is am I in alignment and with my highest values, and what's out of alignment? Because I assure you, once you
Mm-hmm.
plug that drain, because that is draining you when you're out of alignment, then you're going to find yourself way more powerful and way more energetic and way less stressed.
Absolutely. That's great. Oh, I love it. I love it. That is just it's so powerful when we think about how much time we
I think
spend doing are you okay? Oh, you're showing the book. Yeah, how much
yeah,
time we spend doing things that are just not in our own best interests. And so,
right.
so that if we can just step back, I call it becoming the observer. You become the
Yes.
observer of what you're doing and what you're thinking. Most importantly, it's always my tagline is everything begins with a thought. So, we have to become aware of what we're thinking. Just observe it. You don't have to question it or
Mhm.
try to uh, rationalize it or anything. Just notice it, and then you can decide. Is this thought helpful or not? Right?
Right. And right now, your life is the product of the thoughts you had 3 to 5 years ago.
Mm. Or
Your
even
life,
further back.
right? Or further back.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So your life right now is that. And so one thing I think is really powerful too is to go forward in your life, to write about what you really want in a year, in 5 years. Go forward. That can help you determine what your highest values are. Write about it. What do you want your life to look like? Who do you want to be around? What do you want to be doing? What kind of work do you want to be sharing with the world? And then you can begin to work back from that. But you got to have a clear focus of where you're going. And I was just showing this, by the way, because this book, this is the one that's the nitty gritty 50 nifty ways to prosper in your life right now. This one has all sorts of ways people can make the most of their money. All right. And doing that, then you're able to reallocate to the causes that you care about and to your highest values. So, for example, if you love to travel, well, I call it, I give you ways to travel like a rock star on a yard sale budget. Because I have traveled the world, Marcia Grace, and I continue to travel the world. And a lot of people don't do it because they think you have to have mounds and mounds of money to travel. You do not. There are ways to do it that are very cost effective, and then you go have that experience elsewhere.
Mhm.
But what I
Yeah.
find is so many people are holding themselves back thinking, oh, I can't do that. I don't have the money. How many times do you hear that? I don't have the money. Well, the
Mhm.
question, the thing to say is not, I don't have the money. That if you don't, you want to say, well, how can I create that? How can I
Exactly.
create that?
Right. Well,
And
because
then the
now
way
we're
will be
spending
shown.
that we're thinking about what we don't have or can't do or haven't done instead of what we want and that and what our desire is. Because when we're filled with our desire, we're like magnets. Then
Yes.
suddenly things start to happen and they just come to you. I mean, I call it's called for me, it's a miracle. I call it a miracle because it's a miracle, it's a change of perception where it's actually we're saying, what I thought I couldn't achieve, suddenly, why not? Of course I can. You know, it's just a matter of shifting those perceptions and those beliefs, that we have. So I love what you're doing, and I love that book. Sounds great. Where are these books available? Dr.
Yes,
Barnsley?
they're on my website, which, as
Okay.
you beautifully pointed out, is spirited, SPIRITED dash. Put the dash or you get a boring computer company. No, put the dash. Solutions,
Right.
SOLUTIONS.com.
Right.
They're right up there. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact,
Mm-hmm.
those of those folks, well, also there's a freebie there too, Marsha Grace. I should say that.
Yeah. Well,
The
yeah, I was going to ask you
yeah,
what, I know you had a freebie for our viewers. So yes. You want to
right.
tell us about that? Go ahead.
So yes, the freebie is how to overcome overwhelm in 7 easy steps. And so this is a very fun read, but it is also packed with tips and information so that you can make the most of your time. And I show you a way to have 2 extra hours a day
Woohoo! I could
in
use
that
that.
report. 2 extra hours a day. So you
Seriously.
got to read it. Now, what would you do with those 2 hours? Think about it. How would you feed your soul? How would you create joy for yourself so that
Mm.
you do have wealth of spirit instead of depletion of your spirit? And as you
Mm.
pointed out so beautifully, when we're focusing on what we don't have,
Mm.
I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have love, I don't have a partner, I don't have that, whatever, I'm not enough, then we're in scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing good happens there in scarcity mindset.
Mm.
It repels our good.
Yeah.
But when we're in a state of gratitude, like, thank you, God, we get to be here today. We get to talk. We get to share. Our last conversation that you and I just were on the phone was like 2 hours. We had such a great time. We get to share our expertise and wisdom and knowledge with others. What a blessing. And those that get to hear get to comment. They get to share it with a friend, hopefully, who could benefit from the message. But gratitude will is an attractive magnetic force, and it will bring more good. The more we give thanks for whatever it is. I always say to my clients, if you're saying you don't have money, stop it. If you find $1 on the street, get happy. I found $1. Woohoo. Every little bit of everything, you get a little rebate in the mail. Thank you, divine spirit, because that makes you even more attractive to that energy. What we focus on grows. And I
Mm-hmm.
also like to say, where your focus goes, there the
Ooh,
so
where
where's your
you
energy flowing?
oh, say that again because I don't know. There was I guys, I heard a glitch. So just repeat that wonderful
Where the
statement.
focus goes,
Yeah.
where your focus goes, there your energy flows.
Okay. Your energy flows.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yes.
And you
Yes.
can turn it around too. You can say, where your energy flows, there your focus goes. So ask yourself, hey, do I really want to be focused on what I'm focusing on in my life?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, we have
Ooh,
pollen down here.
bless you.
Thank God for all the trees. I love the trees. Um, and hence we have pollen. So where your focus goes, there your energy flows. And where your energy goes, there your focus goes. So ask yourself, do I really like what's showing up in my life?
Right. Or and another thing that occurs to me about energy is if you don't have any energy, that's telling you something. That's a symbol for the lack of focus, of your of a mindset
Clarity,
that's
lack
not
of
clear,
clarity.
right? All
Yep.
of those things. So again, notice what's going on in your body. If your stomach's upset, if you're tired, all of those things are symbolic that something is not right. And who has control over that? Your neighbor, your boss? I mean, somebody out there? No, you, right? We have to take back the power of control over what's going on in our lives.
Right. You are the captain of your ship,
That's right.
right? You
Yep.
are the captain of your ship. Now, are you going to drive it into a glacier? Right? Or are you going to drive it into a beautiful place where you can just enjoy the sunset?
Mhm.
Literally, we are responsible for what we see in our
That's right.
lives. And
Yeah.
this is the other thing. One of my big points is that your prosperity is your divine inheritance. You are not meant to be depleted. You are not meant to be in a state of scarcity
That's
because
right.
that keeps you small. That keeps you small. And just listen to this. When you hold yourself small, when you hold yourself small and you hold yourself back, you hold God small, because
Right.
you are that beloved. You are that expression of source.
Yep.
And you hold yourself small, you're holding source small, and that's
Mhm.
unacceptable.
Yeah. Well, if God is love and nothing else, which is what I believe completely, then it's up to us to say, if God is love and I'm created by that love, then what am I? I'm love too. And how do I exhibit that? How do I exemplify
Divine,
that love? That's my job here. And as
divine
soon as I
creation.
fall out of
And you know,
accord
like
with
the
that, yeah, then I can just get back on track, get that focus
right. And
going.
so it's a way to recenter ourselves and align ourselves. Whenever we're in scarcity, we're not in a state of love, we're in a state of fear.
Right.
And by the way, I would mention to everyone, if you don't like the word God, just use the word source, or use
Right.
the word creative spirit if that works for you, or
Or
creation,
universal consciousness, I often say.
universal consciousness,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
We have different words for it in different cultures, but there is an energy. You can even just call it energy, as they do in physics. There is an energy of
Mhm.
which we are made. We are matter, and we
And
know
that we're
from
all part
physics,
of. We're all
matter is
part of that.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah,
we're
that's
matter, we're energy. I mean, that's how we have dense physical bodies. But what we forget is that thought isn't first dense, right? It's not material. Thought begins as energy and eventually takes a dense form.
that's
All
right.
right. Now we're getting a little philosophical here, but for example, you think about something. I
Okay.
know years ago I was thinking about a waterfront property, and I was in Lima, Peru with my daughter, who was half Peruvian, and I just knew I was supposed to get a waterfront property. And I just felt this. And I started looking on the internet, Marcia Grace. I looked on the internet, and all my in laws were saying, you're not going to find a waterfront property that also has like a park. I wanted a park and I wanted a waterfront property. It's hard to find green and water and waterfront in Lima. Lima's been there
Uh-huh.
for ages.
All
And they were
right.
like, you're not going to find that. And I said, yes, I am. Yes, I
Mhm.
am. And so, through a beautiful turn of events, I was doing work for some people who have a huge import export company. And I said, I found this thing. And they were like, oh, well, we know a contractor. Let's call him up. So, through all of this, they ended up taking me. I found the place. We purchased it. Gorgeous. Had waterfront view, and had in Lima, they're like cliffs. So there was a park, a beautiful green park, and then the water beyond. Now, I
Wow.
never got to live there.
Huh.
And no, I didn't. And when I got divorced, I needed to release it because it wasn't going to be good to keep that
Mhm.
energetic tie there.
Mhm.
However, I'll tell you right now, Barnsley's focused on another waterfront property.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
And it begins with thought. And for a while I was thinking it had to be oceanfront. And then I was in another place with some friends, and they have a beautiful place in Atlantic Highlands, gorgeous home. And I said, wait, I don't need oceanfront. This is gorgeous. This is perfect. It could even be a lake. But you see, I had limited my thoughts about it.
Mhm, mhm.
Everybody listen.
That's
I
right.
had limited my thoughts about
Yep.
it. And the universe was kind of knocking, saying, open up your definition of waterfront. Open
Mhm,
it up.
mhm.
Open it up, because just open it, because there are more possibilities than you are seeing. So I would say to everyone, live in possibility, right? Live in the space of possibility. We get fixated on something so many times as human beings, and we just, I have to have this, I have to have that, and we get fixated, and we're not open to the larger picture. And you better
Absolutely.
believe Source knows what we need and what we want.
I think we could go on for a couple of more hours at least, because you're bringing up things that make me think about something else that I know you can talk about, because habits are a lot of what can keep us back and prevent us from finding our spiritual and financial prosperity. We have and habits are good in many ways, but in other ways they're not so good. So
Mhm.
it's kind of discovering which things are helpful and which aren't, and so and that's all part of the work you do, I know, with your clients. So
And that's why I did the two different books, because one, the mindset has to change along with the strategies,
hmm
right? Both
hmm
have to be there.
right,
If you don't change your mindset and you just read the strategies, you're not going to do them.
right,
Nobody is. I don't
right,
mean you, Marcia Grace, but I
right.
mean in
No,
general, nobody's going
right,
to do
right.
them. We
Yep.
have to change our mindset along with in order to implement the strategies consistently. Otherwise, we won't.
hmm
So, it all goes hand in hand. And for me, these books were very much about the fact that I hear people say over and over again, I have this dream. I want to start this business. This is why I love working with women in business. I want to start this business. I have this dream, but I can't leave my benefits and my job.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother topic.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I wrote this, because I'm like, yes, you can. And here are the books that are going to help you do it. Now, it
All
doesn't happen
right.
overnight,
That's
but
right.
you absolutely can do it. If I did it when I was just coming out of graduate school with a lot of debt, from schooling, if I could do that and I could get where I am now, which is incredible. And I have to tell you, the only debt I have is good debt in real estate,
Excellent.
right? That's the only debt I have.
I have to stop you there for one. I have one very good reason, because I just noticed my battery is just about ready to die. So, because I know we could go on
Thank you,
forever.
that battery.
And you've just given us so much food for thought, though, and I don't want to. I want people to keep, be able to hold on to that and appreciate everything that you've given us. So, because there's just so much. You're
We'll
just a
do it
spark.
again. We'll do it again,
Yeah,
Marcia Grace.
we'll talk about another. We'll get another subject going here. One of the many that we started to talk about.
And
So,
everybody, go get your freebie. Oh, goodness. Go get the How to Overcome Overwhelm in 7 Easy Steps at
okay,
Spirited Dash Solutions.
all
Take
right.
it, get it,
So
and enjoy it.
I'm going to make sure that information is in the chat. And I can't thank you enough for spending time with us today and sharing all the years and years of wisdom that you've accumulated with us. So I want to say thank you again, Dr. Barnsley. You have been a treasure to us, and you're a treasure to your clients. And please, everybody, go get her books, because they're absolutely fantastic. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to wish you all a very blessed and happy rest of this Friday and wonderful weekend. And until next time, many blessings. And remember, everything begins with a thought. So notice your thoughts and get rid of the ones that are causing you stress. All right. Bye bye for now. Thank you again. Bye.
Bye.